Good evening, people of Connor Radio. I am Connor, and I am your DJ, host, MC again for the evening. And today we are going to talk about my day. And specifically, we're going to talk about two topics. We're going to talk about structure. We're going to talk about free time and how they play hand in hand in being an effective use of your time. So, what is structure? Structure is just being able to provide means of constructing, or let's define scaffolding as for any building or structure to be made, you need to provide a source for you to stand on, which is scaffolding. To create structure is really just a means for you to build yourself up on. It's a way of building up from your foundation. So having structure is important not only for building yourself, but maintaining that structure or maintaining that shape after you pull the scaffolding away. When it comes to structure, it is important to remember that those times where you give yourself freedom to do something, you actually need more structure. Jocko Willink is really good at demonstrating this in his discipline equals freedom mentality, where he speaks to how his discipline actually provides him with a significant level of freedom in his everyday life, because he has to do a certain set of things every day, a certain discipline, and then it also provides him a downstream benefit of freedom because it frees him from all the things, all the anxieties around an unstructured life. Which brings me into my second point, which is when you don't have structure or you haven't planned ahead for something, let's say, your free time becomes the thing that undoes you. Today's journal entry is specifically inspired by today, where I had really nothing to do. I was at work and I had completed all of my tasks, and then I had freedom. Unfortunately, I had nothing planned because I wasn't prepared to actually have nothing to do. So having nothing to do during my day, I actually went down this downstream spiral effect of having social anxiety, actually having less freedom in my life because I was being withheld by my own insecurities because I had so much freedom I didn't know what to do with it. So, in culmination of today's entry, if we look at structure and we look at free time, recognize that in your everyday life, you are going to have times where you have structured free time. It's not free time that you haven't foreseen, but instead you need to build into your life a consistent structure of free time. If I were able to take this situation and improve it, I would probably actually take the free time that I had. Let's say I completed all my tasks for the day, and if I had nothing else coming into my inbox, then I need to take that day and I need to say to myself critically, how do I think through moving forward in a positive direction? Let's take a look at today, where if I had nothing to do, what projects could I continue doing? I can work on, in my case, I have a training document that I could continue to build upon, or perhaps it's structuring a better conversation with a coworker, or maybe it's coming up and developing a new project at work. Maybe it's actually just getting my inbox in order. I mean, my inbox is never going to be perfect. Maybe there's something that I can do in my inbox to improve what's in there. Maybe I can filter through some messages. I also have an internal Obsidian database at work. Maybe my interest at work, it should be learning more about my program and taking the time to take more notes on the things that I don't know as much about at work using an Obsidian database. In your everyday life, you might have your own free time. In order to understand what you need to work on, you need to know why you're working on it in the first place. So today I had a lot of unstructured free time and a lot of anxieties that surrounded that free time. So I decided to take the time to actually create a journal entry like this. So take a look critically at your life and understand, is there free time that I have available to me? Maybe it's reading a book, or maybe it's watching Netflix or something to that effect. Think down the line of the end of the week, maybe it's the end of the month or the end of the quarter, and think to yourself, okay, I have this free time. I've done all the things that I want to do today, or maybe I just don't want to do the reading that I wanted to do today, or maybe I don't want to do the meal prepping that I wanted to do today. Those are your disciplines and you should do them. But should you choose to forego those disciplines, you could anticipate that you're going to have a general sense of anxiety because you have a bunch of time that is unstructured and therefore has no predetermined successful outcome. I should have prefaced this with saying that this is more geared towards your type A personality viewer, but if you are a type A personality type viewer, if you are in a situation in which you have come across an unanticipated segment of free time, and you're somebody who's extroverted, type A, take the time to take a breath and understand that you are in a situation in which you need to create structure for yourself. So think about what you can do better for your life. Think what you can do better, maybe more importantly, for others. And in summation of everything that we've talked about, primarily you want to look at how you can benefit the world in a positive way. Today, I consider that the one way I could positively benefit the world is by creating a journal entry about how I feel about unstructured free time. For you, it might be something completely different. But all in all, the most important thing we can do is not to be too hard on ourselves. So if we have discipline to structure our lives, but we have some actual free time, the best thing we can do for ourselves is not to get down on ourselves because we're anxious, but instead to celebrate that you are in a space in which you have complete and total freedom over what you can do with a very free amount of time. So celebrate that by doing the things that will benefit the world around you. That's it. So what we talked about today is how can you structure your everyday life, and if you anticipate some free time, how do you structure that free time? You could benefit the world by structuring time to do activities that help benefit the environment around you. And if you are running into an unanticipated set of free time, think critically about what you can do for the next week or the next 30 days or the next 90 days with your own life, and then think about your outward environment. My name is Connor, and you have been listening to another episode of Connor Radio.